Hi guys, welcome to Monitoring and Evaluation Made Simple. I'm your host, Coach Alexander. Today we're going to be looking at the monitoring and evaluation written test questions and answers, okay? Usually when you're preparing for your exams, you need to do some revision of some of the past papers. Now you might be asking, why am I here on Udemy? Because for those of you who don't know, on Udemy there is a course that I'm actually running called Monitoring and Evaluation Written Test Questions. Okay, there it is, run by Coach Alexander. So when you go there, you just click and you automatically be taken to where this course is being run. Okay, so now this is a very good deal. Already 28 students have managed to use it for their preparations of exams. So the price of this course is $18.99. Of course, if you round it off, it's going to be $19. But I want to show you something you can do. If you want, if you're interested, you can actually use a discount coupon code. Okay, so now I'm not trying to market the course. I'm actually going to run you through some of the questions that are found in this course, but I thought maybe in case you're interested, you can actually enroll. So now the coupon that I'll share with you is called Coach Alexander 1234. Okay, so once you apply this coupon code, what happens is that the price will reduce to $13. Instead of having to pay that $19, you end up paying $13. Okay, so now let's get straight into business. What are some of the questions that are found in this course? Okay, so just give me a few seconds and we're going to go through this course together. Just some of the few questions and how this thing is run. Give me a few seconds. Welcome back, guys. So I'm here on the monitoring and evaluation written test questions and answers. I'm using a different account to access this course because I just want you to get to see things the way a customer would see them. You know how it is as creators, we can't usually, anyway, I won't go into that. Let's get started with it. So all you do when you enroll in this course, you simply press the start course button. It's not really a course per se, but they call them courses because all of them are called courses. So now it's interesting because there are different sections. You've got the practice test 1, practice test 2, practice test 3, practice test 4 and 5. Okay, all of these are different categories. You've got the basics of M&E, key performance indicators, monitoring and evaluation system, monitoring and evaluation for professionals, and situational questions. So now I want to just give you a sample of some of the 20 questions that are in the basics, and then if you are interested, you can further enroll in this course. And there's something I also want to show you why I like Udemy, because they actually give you the marks to the scores after you have completed the answering of the questions. So it says straight away begin the test, so you press there. So now the first question is, and here is a timer, so you get timed. Actually, this is interesting. So now what is monitoring and evaluation? So there are three responses. There are options. M&D is an activity that is done in order to determine whether a project has achieved its intended results as planned over a period of time. M&D is an activity undertaken only once in the project cycle in order to determine whether impact of an intervention has been achieved or not. M&E is an activity undertaken by M&D specialists, okay, and so on. So already I know the answer to this question. The best is A. These other two are not totally correct because we all know that M&E is not just undertaken once in the project cycle. No, it's throughout the project, and then it's not just done by M&E specialist. So the best answer is the first. So you go to the next one. What is monitoring? Monitoring is the using of monitoring equipment. Already, I know that is not true. The next option is monitoring is a routine and rigorous activity undertaken throughout the project cycle. So already I know that this is correct. I won't even go further to this because I already see that monitoring aims to establish whether interventions are achieving targets. It's correct, but this is the best answer. So we go to the next question. What is evaluation? Evaluation determines the outcome of the project in relation to other projects implemented in the same area. Not 100% correct. Evaluation is highly documented methodology that analyzes the efficiency of a project. So that is correct, but it's not 100% correct because it just doesn't analyze the efficiency. But there are other areas it looks at, including the effectiveness. Evaluation is an in-depth assessment that aims to determine whether the project achieved its intended objectives. This one is very correct. Who participates in monitoring and evaluation activities? Okay, who participates in it? The M&D officer, M&D coordinated staff, and other subordinates. That is correct, but not 100% correct. The implementing organization, stakeholders, and even the beneficiaries. That is correct. I think it's 100% correct. But let's go to the next option. The donor contracted consultant responsible for monitoring and evaluation. That one is wrong. So B is the correct answer. And the reason why B is the correct answer is because when it comes to participatory M&E, which I think is the best, you have different players who are interested in the outcome of the project. So of course you have the M&E officer and other staff doing the actual M&E, but at the end of the cycle they need to get in touch with the stakeholders in order to validate the information that they were collecting. And also stakeholders have a very valuable input to the success and failure of the project. So that's why this becomes the best answer. Question 5. When undertaking M&D activities, why are key performance indicators important? KPIs are important because these are variables that would help determine whether the project is achieving its results or not. That is a good answer. Okay, let's go to the next one. KPIs are important because they are the key indicators of the project and hence must be given a lot of attention. No, it is not saying much. Okay, the third option, a project cannot be implemented without KPIs. I've seen projects being implemented without KPIs. So the best answer is this one. Now, question 6, when are monitoring reports actually done? Monitoring reports can be done anytime throughout the year depending on the availability of resources and what is actually being tracked, but must be well scheduled. Very good answer. Let's go to the next answer. Monitoring reports can only be done quarterly, semi-annually, and annually. Okay, so the monitoring reports, yes, this is usually the case. Quarterly, semi-annually, or annually, it's usually the case. But the truth of the matter is that you can even do monitoring reports on a weekly basis. The third option is monitoring reports are submitted midway through the projects. No. So the best answer is obviously A. When is evaluation done? Evaluation is done quarterly. No. I've never seen an evaluation done quarterly. Let's go to the next answer. Evaluation is usually done at the beginning and end of the project. Yes, usually it's done at the beginning and end of the project. Usually. Okay. And let me tell you this, in case you didn't know, you might be asking, how can an evaluation be done at the beginning of the project? I'm sure you've heard of a baseline survey. So the baseline survey is an example of an evaluation. Okay, so this is usually the standard practice. Evaluation is done midway and at the end of the project. Yes, it's true, but if you are looking for the best answer, the best answer is that one. Let's go to the next. Question 8. What are data collection tools and why are they developed in monitoring and evaluation activities? Data collection tools are tools used to collect information and are developed for purposes of improving our understanding of the project. So the data collection tools, guys, they are not used to collect information, because information is the end product. It's after you've done the analysis. But data collection tools are used to collect data and are developed for purposes of improving our understanding of the project. Okay, so I would go with this one. But let's see what the third answer says. Data collection tools are tools used to collect data in relation to the key performance indicators in the project and help with understanding whether the project has made any progress or not. Okay, so I like this answer. Yeah, so it's actually 3. Okay, it's actually option 3, guys. And the reason is that one of the things that I always, and I'm sorry, I'm going to talk a bit about this. One of the things I always cry about is, why is it that when we are doing all these M&D activities, we tend to collect data that is not relevant to our projects? You see the point, guys. It's costly to us in terms of time, in terms of manpower, including in terms of the monies we are pumping in for these interventions. It's really good to focus on the key performance indicators, because that's why you're even implementing the project in the first place. Question 9. A log frame can be used in developing the monitoring and evaluation framework. This is true. The log frame is actually, you know what I've seen in the past, actually, people tend to mistake the log frame with the M&D framework. These are two different things. The framework, and when I say the M&D framework, I'm talking about the M&D framework matrix. The matrix usually will tell you all the indicators that are there, who is responsible for collecting what indicators, how often should you collect them. Go to my YouTube channel and search some of the videos. You'll find out that actually these are some of the issues that are being looked at. Okay, so the thing is that when developing the M&D framework, what usually comes first is the log frame, and then you come to develop the M&D framework. What is the difference between an outcome and impact? Okay, the first one is they are the same thing, except that outcome can be easily seen, but the impact can't be easily seen. Okay, so you can see that the first answer, really, it's neither here or there. It hasn't really explicitly explained what these are. usually when you are doing these kind of questions, look for the best answer. So let's go to the next answer. Outcome is the result achieved over a period of time while the impact is achieved shorter. No, this one is totally wrong, and you can see already that it's not explaining anything. It's neither here nor there. The next one is the outcome is the result achieved in the short to medium term while the impact is the results achieved over a long period of time. So this one clearly is the correct answer. So the outcome, if you look at the results chain, you've got first the output, you've got the outcome, then you've got the impact. So these all have their different periods of time when results will be achieved. Is monitoring and evaluation a donor requirement? This is a tricky question. And I can assure you I wouldn't be surprised if I get this wrong, although I'm the one who set the paper. But the truth of the matter is sometimes it is a donor requirement. Alright, and the reason why I say so is because donors are putting a lot of pressure on the implementing organizations to have these M&D systems. It even goes to an extent where they will not give you any support if they don't see you have a system in place. All right, so that one is a requirement sometimes, but not always. But the ideal situation is to actually have these M&D systems driven by the implementing organization. What is a baseline survey? A baseline study is an activity done to gather baseline information about project implementation on a regular basis. No, it's not even regular. A baseline survey is an activity that gathers baseline information and reports to stakeholders. Okay, that's fine, but let's look for the best answer. I'm suspecting it's this. A baseline survey is a study undertaken in order to establish the prior situation before the implementation of a project. When is a baseline survey conducted? A baseline survey is conducted at the beginning of the project. Yes, that is true, but let's see what the best answer is. A baseline survey is usually conducted before project implementation. Yes, that's true, but what is the best answer? A baseline survey is usually conducted right when a project begins to implement activities. Okay, so now the truth of the matter, and I'll tell you that I won't be surprised if I get this wrong or correct, because sometimes these are tricky questions. The baseline survey in principle is supposed to be conducted before project implementation, not at the beginning. And the reason is that it will give you the situation prior to when the project started. Okay. Now, the argument that some people will make is that the baseline survey should be conducted at the beginning of the project. Okay. So, meaning that the reason why you do it at the beginning is because you want to, the project has already been developed, it has its indicators, so you want to establish the benchmarks of those indicators. When the project was starting, what was the situation at the start of the project. Okay, but I think a baseline survey is usually right when a project begins to implement. I would go for B. Okay, but I'm telling you, don't be surprised if I get it wrong, even when I set this paper. Okay, question 14. In order to set a target, which of the following statements are true? Must have baseline information, must be realistic, must also be agreeable with every stakeholder. So now, target setting. I've seen people set targets the wrong way. They'll set targets in such a way that it is they are not realistic, they are not attainable, and they don't even have a basis. They are not able to involve stakeholders in the coming up with these targets. That is a wrong way to do it. The right way is actually all of the above. You need to involve stakeholders in setting the target, because these stakeholders may have information which you yourself may not actually be privileged to have. In the word SMART indicator, what does S mean? So again, here you're looking for the best answer. S means specific only. No, it doesn't only mean that. So S means it is specific, and in practice means that the indicator should properly and clearly explain what the indicator is. Okay. S means it is specific, and in practice means that the indicator should properly and clearly be defined with precise detail. Yes, this is the correct answer. What is monitoring and evaluation? How is monitoring and evaluation done step by step? So the first step, desk review. Second step, developing data collection tools. Third, data collection, analysis, reporting, recommendation, and corrective action. Okay, so I like the first answer, but let's see what the second answer says. Step 1, desk review. Step 2, data collection. Step 3, analysis. Step 4, reporting. Step 5, recommendations and corrective action. Okay, so I can see already what is missing. So clearly it's A. Clearly, because you know, if you've noticed in the second answer, what is missing is the development of data collection tools. And in the third answer, what is missing is the corrective action. Whenever you're doing M&E, there has to be some corrective action taking place. What is the difference between monitoring and evaluation and research? It's the same thing. No. Okay, now what is the difference? They are different in the sense that M&E is about tracking and taking corrective action, and research is about filling a knowledge gap. Very true. Very, very true. I won't even go to this one because research is much more involving than M&E. But the question is, it has to explain how is it much more involving than M&E. Why is it good practice to hire an independent consultant to undertake an evaluation of a project? An independent consultant is much more skilled and aware of the project. An independent consultant is professional with years of experience on a particular issue in order to remove bias. Yeah, it definitely has to be this. It definitely has to be this. Yes, quite all right. This independent consultant is more skilled and aware of the project, is professional and with years of experience. Yes, those are important. But it's really the biasness. Okay, you can see already, even for me, these questions are tricky. So we're going to see the results at the end of the... I hope I would have gotten 100%. What is a log frame? A log frame is another name for logical framework, a planning tool consisting of a matrix which provides an overview of a project goals, activities, and anticipated results. Okay, I feel it definitely has to be the first. Okay, so finally, if you have been employed as an M&D specialist and you are required to travel and monitor activities in a certain community, what documents will you refer to in order to undertake effective monitoring? HR policy and employee terms of service? No. M&D manual, strategic plans, M&D framework. So now this is tricky. Ooh, if you have been employed as an M&D specialist and you are required to travel and monitor activities in a certain community, what documents will you refer to in order to undertake? Okay, so it's definitely two. So now the reason why I was a bit guessing, I was a bit thinking through things, is that this employee terms of service may be useful if you are doing a, DQA, data quality audit, of all your staff. So you'd want to see exactly if they are fulfilling their role as M&D officers or not. Okay, so let's see what the results. Okay, finish test. Oh, so I got 95%. Okay, so now I don't know which one I got wrong. Yeah, so like I told you, it was some of these things are tricky. So let's look at where I got it wrong. Yeah, where I got it wrong. But it could be that it's actually correct. Besides, I can correct things if I want to. Yeah, so that was correct. So you can see it gives you instantly what is correct. Okay, so all of the above. So you see why I say this was quite tricky. Yeah, it was quite tricky indeed. So I think I was looking at it in the sense that when you're doing your monitoring, you're also going to look at your field staff and see whether they are actually fulfilling their role as M&D officers. Okay, so that's why I think that's why I got it wrong. I didn't take that into consideration. So guys, this was quite a long video. I hope you enjoyed this video, and please, if you are still interested to access this course, I'll leave the coupon below. Remember, and also this coupon expires in five days, so I would urge you to, if you are interested to complete these other questions, I would urge you to do so as soon as possible. So I've been your host, Coach Alexander, and see you on the other side. Bye.